Good morning out there. In there, out there. From in here, out here. Are you ready for this? This is a second take. The first one, partway through, it turned off and we didn't know it. So here we go again. And, boy, it's good coffee, really. Vivi's nose. Vivi isn't beside me. How am I going to do this today without Vivi beside me? She's over here, sound asleep. She didn't even want to take a walk this morning. She got the sleepies. We went out, came back in. And I wasn't holding the leash. She just walked back in. Well, welcome to the Sentimentalist. Hi, Mark. I love socks. Do you love socks? I love socks. I walk around in socks. I don't know what they are, what it is. I have to be the right kind of thing, you know. They have to be snuggly. That's it, snuggly. Oh boy. Grown man just said snuggly. Well, let's see what we have in here. We have that we love socks. Had some neat things. There's a wonderful site called The First Sip that I recommend to you. You know, like The First Sip. And Claudia Cummins in Ohio, near where I grew up, actually, not too far. She has a beautiful photograph every day on it, and most often she's taken them. Boy, she's got an eye and a timing. And then a nice piece under it, not a self-help, you know, and a thing that makes you fail, but something by like James Cruz the other day, or Pablo Neruda, or Mary Oliver, or somebody. It's just nice, quiet way, short, brief. And she told the story the other day about when her kid was in first grade, and she'd take her to school and say goodbye, have a good day or something. And she had a friend, Amy, who would always take her little boy, turn him around and just look at him and smile and go, "Best day ever." And at first she thought, best day ever? I mean, come on. And of course that very American, you know, let's figure it out because I'm highly educated and I know that's not a possibility. She said, that's not what she was saying. It was just lovely. And the little boy trundled into school. And she did that every day. Just think that just became part of that little boy. That little boy at age 40 was feeling that. You know that, right? Just walked out into some god-awful meeting and just heard his mom going, best day ever? You have to transform things, don't you? Yeah. I'm tired of people telling you have to live in the real world. What the heck is the real world? What is that? The real world is that they're building a $2 million house on the other side of our woods. Is that the real world? Huh? Is the real world Ukraine? Yeah. Is the real world that there are elves on the shelf behind me? Yes. Yes. Why not? Who cares? And man, I get this sight from this church thing, and they're always telling me what I'm supposed to think and what I'm supposed to believe, and I'm wrong about this and I'm wrong about that. Why would you do that? Who cares? You reach a certain age and you turn around and go, why did I do that? Why? I could have done this. Okay? Right? Okay, over here's the news, and over here's Julie knitting. Which one should I look at? Which one do I want to watch? Which one that one day do I want to say, boy, or do I end up going, wow, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Yeah. Well, I have to consult my weekly. my friend Mary Ruffel won a pushcart prize. And also I got this book from Kevin Carey Press called One Day, which is a very touching book by a mother. And, no, by a sister. And on the flap in the back, you know, where they have the bio of the person, it said that she was nominated for a pushcart prize. Now, the pushcart prize is like the Oscar for poems. So she was nominated for a pushcart prize. I've been nominated for a pushcart prize 19 times. I am 0 for 19. I'm the Susan Lucci of poems. Yeah. 0 for 19. I wonder if anybody's been 0 for 19. I don't know any. You know, I know a lot of people who say, wow, I've been nominated twice. And the winner is not me. Actually, at this point in my life and with poems, I kind of like it. You know, because who's 0 for 19? Yeah, I kind of like it, because I'm at that point, you know, I look back, so I want a pushcart prize. So I'm 0 for 19. Oh boy, best day ever. Yeah. My wonderful late colleague Dirk Jellema, always still in here. Dirk said he wrote a wonderful essay about why he pays no attention to the news, and his reason was it's not the news. He said, I already know what the news is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the names change. But what he didn't know, and he needed to know every day, was how Ted was doing next door. That was the real news. How's Ted next door? It was a beautiful essay. You can see that it's broader than even its specifics. My friend Jim Alice comes once a week, and we hang out for the whole morning. And Jim teaches in one of the prisons, and it's so moving what he does. These guys just can't wait for Jim to show up. And here's what he's teaching Greek stuff. So they're starting off with the Iliad that begins with something like, I'm in a rage. And here's these guys, and they eat it up. They love it. They talk. Jim says, you know, the hour ends and they're still in the middle of talking heavy duty about the Odyssey and the Iliad, or the Iliad and the Odyssey. Very moving and beautiful stuff. This guy, Jim showed us this piece. It was terrific art. And he knew calligraphy on top of that. He was a really fine ability to draw, and then he made this collage, and it was, you know, he just did it. And it's just you see that, and you know that probably at 14 or 15 or whatever, you know, when they're in school, the Iliad and the Odyssey, was a little eye-rolling time, and they just eat it up, and you just wonder what happened. What happened? One thing, as Jim always said, one thing. And then here's where they land. And did I say I love socks? Oh, I love socks. As long as they're snugly. As long as they're snugly. Yeah. Ah, boy, there's been a lot of attack. I had a tough week with the Sentimental. I had a whole chapter in the book that this workshop I have is reading. Whole chapter against sentimentality. Oh dear. I'm going to work with that. Pejorative. I just read it all over the place. Yeah, sentimental. Well, that's not what it is. They're using the wrong word. Okay? Now, here's a wrong definition even when you think about the reality of things. Okay, and what is the reality of things? I don't know. A lot of people know. Tell you to face reality. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's elves back there. Who cares about what's real? It's so ridiculous. I get this site from this church site, this blog, and it's just, this is wrong, this is wrong. According to the catechism, according to this is wrong. This is right, and we can't. And what? What? You can come to a certain age and look back and go, what was I doing? Hurting all those people, shaking them up, making them frightened, and doing all that stuff, and getting into arguments and fights, and proving I was right. It proved I was right. Whew, boy. See, my dad, every morning, when they'd wake up, my mom and dad, when they were older, he'd put his arm around just like this, around my mom, and say, "This is the best part of the day." And after a while, you realized it was that she was still there. That's what he was saying. She woke up. Best day ever. Best day ever. Boy, the United States, it just pressures you to have values that are like saying to Julie when she made this amazing shawl, "What do you think you get for that? How much is that worth?" I say I had a bad week with Sentimental. Oh, boy, did I ever. Did I ever. Whole chapter. Huh? So anyway, what I was about to say is that if sentimentality gets defined often, this is the way I learned it in school, an inappropriate response to something. That's what sentimentality is. So watch an NFL game. Yeah. Whew, boy. It's good to try to turn your routines, and slowly, if you keep at them, you don't even notice. They become rituals. Now, Julie and I read to each other in the morning, and another is imposed on us by Vivian, because if it's time for a walk, she tells us, she comes up to us and goes, "That's time for a walk," and then she'll put her paw on you. And bedtime, she's in charge of bedtime, and it's the same thing. She comes in, looks at us, puts the paw down. Bedtime. "Okay, Viv, it's up to you, kiddo. I tell you." Yeah, geez, man. Ruth Oswald was over yesterday and bought this amazing bundt cake. We have this thing from the shamans about reciprocity. Not, we got to make this equal. It's just, I give you this, you give me that, I give you this. It's just really wonderful experience. And she was talking about taking her very frightened, she has a little granddaughter, 6, 7, and she's frightened of a lot of things. And Ruth remembered that when she was at that age, she was too. Ruth got the granddaughter to go sled riding. That was the big thing. And she was very frightened, and got to the bottom of the hill, and the little girl went, "Well, that was enjoyable." That's how to overcome your fear, right? So Ruth told about her I think it was her grandfather, who taught her to say, "I'll be okay. I'll be okay." Which, of course, here comes the cynic saying, "That's not, I don't care. I'll be okay." I should have said that in faculty meetings to myself. I should have made that a motto. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Hey, let's see. Oh, my, when I worked at Colgate University, and the dean I worked for, he was coming down the hall one day, just a lovely man, and I said, I don't know why, I said, when you were little, what did you say when people asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up? And he said, kind. Whoa. And that's on his grave marker. Guy Martin. What did you want to be when you grew up? Kind. Wow. Well, let's see. That's, blah, blah, blah. Enough, huh? Keep learning to see. That's important. We think we see, and then want to change the world? Turn your head. There you go. Sun's up over the trees now. It was right along the edge there for a while. Wow. It was stunning. It was stunning. Vivi just snored. Well, let's, oh my goodness. Happy Groundhog Day. Happy Groundhog Day. Yes, sirree. We had a friend who was a real homebody, and we used to say when he came out, if he saw his shadow, it was 6 more weeks of winter. I don't know what happened. I didn't check. Did the groundhog see a shadow? Punxsutawney, PA, near my hometown, where the groundhog comes out, looks around and goes, what are you doing here? Happy Groundhog Day. This is a poem for Dan Gerber. It's called, It's Often Time to Feed the Birds. Man, do I have a lot of birds and things. They're going to say the only thing he knew about was birds, and he didn't even know about them. He just put them in there. Nobody's going to say anything. Dan Gerber. For Dan. He's been so kind to me. It's often time to feed the birds. I was at the back window watching our dog, my wife, and our daughter. The dog bounding into the wind-drifted snow as they, bundled and laughing, trudged their way to the front door. Jim Harrison saying it's better to live a sentimentalist than die a smart-ass. The ornaments are still in the tree. They are. The ornaments are still in the tree. We're still playing Irish carols. It's a new year, but is there such a thing? The sun sets, rises, sets, and we name the days that tumble one into another, while 500 million light years away lies a galaxy with suns that have no days, no war, no need for a manger. Here we must waken, roll away the stone from our empty tomb of sleep, step through another sunlit tragic day, trying to believe in the snowplow, the mail, the hello from the next door neighbor, the mourning doves fluffed at the nearly empty feeder. Dan Gerber and Jim Harrison were buddies. And David Crosby and Dan. Okay. Be kind. Try to be cheerful. Take care.